So let's have a little chat, shall we? On the early morning or the early rising. You know, I've been sitting back, observing, waiting to talk about the whole thing that's unfolding with Tim Norman, Robbie Montgomery's son, from Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Now we know why OWN abruptly canceled the show. I was watching somebody else a couple of minutes ago, and she made me come to the realization, not personally, but just the things that she was saying. I'm going to bounce off of it a little bit because she said something that was so profound, and she has said this before, and I've known this for quite some time, that these things happen. But a lot of times when we're told that a certain individual has died, that might not have been when they actually died. You feel what I'm saying? Let me tell you where I'm going with this. When they canceled Welcome to Sweetie Pies, and this is the occult view, this is me giving my occult spiritual assessment. When they canceled Welcome to Sweetie Pies, it was already known that Tim was responsible, or at least there was some suspicion that Tim was responsible for Andre's death. Let me say it again. When the OWN network abruptly canceled Welcome to Sweetie Pies, it was already known that something was getting ready to go down with Tim. That was already known. That is why they used the distraction between him and Jennifer Williams, the whole situation, the whole legal situation and allegations that were made about him, which I believe, by the way. I believe Jennifer Williams, and I believe Janae, by the way. The whole, all of the allegations that were made about Tim and his conduct in the relationship with Jennifer Williams, that court case was really a distraction for what was to come, or for what was really going on. But they pulled the wool over our eyes, and they did, that mind control trick where they change your perception. They start messing with the cerebral cortex of your brain, fucking with your perception, making you think something that's not. You feel what I'm saying? But you know what I find interesting too? And I'm gonna go back to this, what I said earlier. Jennifer Williams and Janae both said that Tim were abusive. Both said that Tim was abusive. Both said that he was abusive. I said we're abusive. It's early. Both said he was abusive to them. And we didn't believe them. We didn't believe them. I did. But most people didn't believe them. They said that Jennifer Williams was crazy. They said that yada, yada, yada. They said Janae did this. And let's just say this. Even if some of the things that Tim said about Janae are true, she may be a rotten motherfucking person on a human level, but she ain't killed nobody. And that's probably why Janae was now it makes sense why Janae was distancing herself away from the Montgomery family. Because Janae knew what was up. See, Janae knew. That is why she kept Timmy. I think I'm sorry, what's his name? TJ? Timmy? I don't know. The little boy. That is why she kept TJ. I think his name is TJ. That is why she kept TJ away from Tim. Because this was already known. This was already suspected. But they kept it quiet. They didn't say anything. That is why Tim, a few weeks before his arrest, he looked like he was in such distress and agony because that motherfucker knew what was coming. He was already under suspicion when they did the reunion a few years ago when Sweetie Pies was canceled. That's what I'm saying. That's where the occult comes in, because the occult deals with anything that is hidden. Andre was the fried chicken, the mashed potatoes, the gravy. He was the golden boy. He was the golden child. Andre was the golden child. He was the most advanced. Not no damn Charles. It was Andre. Andre was the steak, meat, and potatoes, and the macaroni and cheese, and all the good shit. That was Andre. He was talented. He was a handsome young man. And he was getting ready to go places. And Tim, here's another thing. There was a woman that called into Tasha K's show the other day. And I like, the little interview that she did, with the woman. I like that. Shout out to Tasha K, child, because I like some of the things she say. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But nevertheless, I ain't no player hater. What it is, what it is. She did an interview with a woman who claimed to have known Tim. And the woman did a pretty good job explaining herself and everything. It was a pretty good little interview. And I say little interview because it wasn't very long. Not to diminish it or anything like that, but it wasn't a long interview. So, in this interview, the woman, Tasha asked her, and I'm so glad Tasha asked her this. Tasha asked her, do you think Tim was jealous? And see, Tasha should have stuck with that, because Tasha was picking up the truth. She's a Pisces. Pisces are very intuitive. That's when they're not involved in other nefarious, bullshit, because Pisces can be some motherfuckers sometimes, but that's just another story, But she was picking up the truth. The woman said no, she didn't think there was any jealousy. But that's the only thing I respectfully disagree with that the woman, said. There was jealousy. Let me tell you why there was jealousy. This is a cosmic and this is a generational thing. The older generation, especially these old ass black men, they don't like the younger generation of black men. Now see, I'm not like that. I'm old now. I'm 41. I consider myself old now. I'm over 40. So I consider myself old now. You know what I'm saying? And when I say old, I don't mean old in a sense as in decrepitude or nothing like that. But I'm old enough to know what's right and to know what's wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Tim is in my age bracket. Okay? With his big turkey arms and wide ass damn hips. But that's another story, child. Shit, his arms are bigger than mine. Shit. Tim was jealous of Andre because this is a generational thing. This is a generational thing. My uncle was the exact same way against me. He's a Pisces. His ass is all fucked up now, having heart problems and every other motherfucking thing that's attributed to his lifestyle of being a bum and a no good motherfucker. But my uncle was the same exact way with me. He was jealous because I was the golden boy. When I was born, because I was the first grandchild and the first great-grandchild, and he was jealous. He was very nasty to me when I was coming up. He was very abusive towards me, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Him and my aunt were both cut from the same cloth. Because that is part of the Willie Lynch curse that afflicts black people till this day. And one of the verses in that curse is that we will pit the old against the young. And we see that shit played out in these black families all the time. That's where the spiritual comes in, because it's like a curse. In a sense, it is a curse. But Tim took it to another motherfucking level. And he was jealous because, like I said, Andre was the golden boy. Andre was the one who was going to make it. Andre was going to be something great and good if he applied himself. He was going to make it in the rap industry. Tim's old ass, remember this is where you connect the occult dots. For people who watched Welcome to Sweetie Pies, remember Tim was also trying to get into the rap game. He was also trying to get into the rap industry, the music industry. That is why he opened up that Welcome to Sweetie Pies out there in LA. That was his entire motivation behind that, which that Sweetie Pies, I did not like it. I did not like the vibe. I did not like it when they went to LA. It brought the show down. I did not like it being about Charles and Chloe and Tim. I didn't like that shit because to me they were boring. The show was about Miss Robbie. The show was about a family-owned restaurant that was out of St. Louis, Missouri. And the mistake that they made was when they started putting more focus on the Sweetie Pies in LA. But that was Tim's bullshit because he wanted to go out to LA to make it as a rapper with his old ass. And Andre, to my understanding, he was rapping. He was doing music. And Tim was jealous of that. He saw that Andre, that's why he hated Andre so much. See, this is not just about money. Let me be clear about something. See, we heard about the $450,000 insurance policy that Tim had on Andre, but this is not just about money. This is spiritual. This old ass nigga was jealous of his nephew. He was jealous of Andre's talent, and he took Andre out not only for the money, but Andre was the sacrifice to get him into the industry, but something went wrong. Something went fucking wrong. He thought that he could sacrifice Andre and get into that industry. He thought that he could push Andre out of the way and take his motherfucking place. Almost like fucking Invasion of the Goddamn Body Snatchers, or what some people would call soul stealing. That's what he was trying to do. See, we ain't really looking at it from a good spiritual eye. See, I see what the fuck he did. Because, see, my uncle tried to do the same thing to me. Now, he didn't try to kill me physically, but he tried to move me out of the way. But what ended up happening is the shit ended up backfiring on him. Because when he moved me out of the way, he pushed me into my consciousness, into expanding my consciousness, into becoming the person that I am now. That is what my uncle and my aunt did. See, it didn't work. It backfired on them. Just like it's backfiring on Tim, but unfortunately, Andre had to lose his life. But this is the exact thing. I'm sorry. This is, what was I going to say? Oh, got a brain fart for a minute. That's how you know it's spiritual, when you forget. But no, I know what I was going to, oh, okay, I got it now. Tim wanted Andre out of the way for multiple reasons. He wanted to steal his motherfucking shine. He wanted to steal his fucking energy and use it for himself, pushing him out the way. But now, motherfucker, you all fucked up. You all fucked up now. Because everything came out into the open. I remember when Andre first came down to St. Louis, well, when he first came up to St. Louis from Texas, because his mother wanted him to come to live with Miss Robbie because Andre wasn't doing very well in Texas. And I remember how nasty Tim was to him. Tim didn't like Charles either, by the way. He didn't like Charles either. And I'm going to throw this out there too. And people can get mad. They can say, oh, that's not true. Tim is not 100% heterosexual. That is one of the reasons, I'm going to say allegedly, that is one of the reasons why he cannot maintain relationships with women. That is why he struggles with his sexual orientation. That is why he's so violent. That is why he's so crazy. He's not gay. He's gazy. Let me say that much. Tim does not like women like that. He hates women. He does not like women. I like women. I'm gay and I like women more than he does. And I'm gay. He has a backwards gazy type of fucking energy. You know what I'm saying? He's not gay, but he's not straight either. That's a totally different type of fucking energy that I don't even want to talk about because the shit is backwards and it's perverse. And when you have men like Tim Norman who have that energy or or rather that energy inhabits them, you're going to get a violent, psychotic, sociopathic, remorseless type of person. Because there's no harmony within him. There's no harmony within him. He wanted Andre out of the way. He wanted him out of the way. For multiple reasons. Remember when he met with Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father? He was trying to get into that motherfucking music industry, that rap industry. And things didn't go. Mr. Knowles was not fucking with him. He was like, you could tell that Matthew was not feeling him. I could look all in his energy and I could tell that Mr. Knowles was like, nigga, you ain't got no motherfucking talent. But I think Matthew was being as nice as he possibly could. But he knew that Tim did not have what it took to make it big in the industry. Andre did, though. Andre had star power. That is why Tim took him out and tried to steal his fucking shine. And then in the process, he wanted to make $450,000 that he didn't get. I always knew that Andre was the sacrifice. But I did not know until everything started to unfold. I did not know to what extent because I really didn't invest too much into it. You know, I didn't suspect Tim at first. I did not. Because we don't always pick up on every motherfucking thing. But when things started to unfold, I began to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because see, that is what I do. I am the occult view. And see, a lot of this shit that I'm getting now, it's probably coming from Andre. That's what spirits do. They motivate you. They speak to you through symbols and they speak to you through intuition. Right now, I am speaking from my wisdom, right side of my brain. My intuition, my wisdom. That is how that's how spirits communicate with you through your intuition and your wisdom a lot of times. He hated Andre. Truthfully, he hated his mother too. Because I hear through the grapevine, he had a $1 million insurance policy on Miss Robbie. And the only reason I'm talking about this, because I normally don't talk about celebrity stuff, but the only reason I'm talking about this is because it's just a sign of the times that we live in. We live in the age of illusion, confusion, and exposing. Everybody's getting exposed on their bullshit. All fakes and frauds and people that are living these lies are getting exposed. Tim Norman is a fraud because that motherfucker had the unmitigated gall after Andre was viciously murdered, a murder that he orchestrated, which I hope he gets the death penalty or I hope he gets life in jail. I hope he gets the death. Death is too easy for him. He needs to get life in jail and suffer. That's what he needs to get. Because that is a treason, that is that is an ultimate betrayal, and then you sat up there with that white man and helped to kill your fucking nephew. That's why I don't trust Negroes like Tim. Let me say it like that. Because I'm not going to apply this to all black men. Let me say that. This ain't got nothing to do with black divine men. I ain't got no problem with you all. Nothing. Because see, black divine men that are secure in their heterosexual energy, they don't do shit like this. They don't do shit like this. You can clearly see that Tim has issues with his sexual orientation. That is why he had issues with Janae. He didn't want to have no sex with Janae. Tim does not like women like that. Has anybody ever picked that up? I can. And I'm going to say allegedly. He can't sue me now. If that motherfucker tried to sue me, he would have more problems than ever. Because I would make sure he would never make it to court. Facts. I was getting ready to make a point, but I always get a little... Because see, when it's spiritual, that's what happens. You lose your train of thought. But he did not like, let me just start from here. He did not like women like that. He did not like women. You could see it in his face. He would date women to keep up pretenses, but you never really saw him into, just really go back and look. You never really saw him very, very interested in a woman like that. When he was with a woman, it was awkward. It was very awkward. And that plays a part in everything that makes him who he is. But no, I'm not talking about black men who are secure in their own divine masculine energy. Tim is masculine, but he has no divinity. He has no divinity. None whatsoever. I think that's all I have to say. I was going to say something else, but it slipped my fucking mind and I don't feel like remembering it. He took Andre out because he was jealous. He was jealous of Andre. That was part of it. He was jealous of that young man. He was jealous. Very jealous. When my first nephew was born, back in 2002, I think my nephew should be about 18. He's about 18 now. When my first nephew was born, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic. I was happy. There was no jealousy. I would watch my nephew when he was a baby, and I watched him even when he was a little. I watched both my niece and nephew when they were, when they were small children. I watched both of them. They would come over to my house, eat up all my sweets, eat up all the cookies and ice cream and anything that I had here. I always shared with them. I made sure they had whatever they wanted. Even if I didn't have anything, I would always make sure they had what they wanted. And I'm not saying that to get any accolades or anything like that. But I'm just pointing out how I broke the cycle of that curse for myself. Because I don't view younger. Why would I be? I'm actually honored that younger people contact me and they want to hear what I have to say. I'm honored. I'm honored because a lot of those younger people that come back around, they are those ancient gods coming back to test your old ass, to see where you at. A lot of the younger people that we coming in contact with, a lot of those are ancient gods, those ancient old ones. We be discarding these younger people, these younger black people, treating them like they're this or they're that. But a lot of those ancient old gods coming back around to see what the fuck you know and to test you. And to see where the fuck you at. And then you mistreat them. Andre was an old ancient one that came back. He was one of the old ancient ones that came back around. No matter what his life, human wise, it don't matter what his life was like. But he was one of those old ancient spirits that came back. Tim, you flunked the motherfucking test. You flunked. You flunked, motherfucker. And you gonna pay for what you did. You gonna pay for that. I don't mean pay for it in the petty human revenge sense. You gonna pay some serious, serious spiritual consequences for that. You're gonna pay for that because you committed a horrible treason. I call that spiritual and bloodline treason. You conspired with a white man to have your own nephew murdered. And then, this is what I was going to say. He had the unmitigated gall. This is, okay, now it came back to me. He had the unmitigated gall to orchestrate what do they call it? Some type of candlelit vigil in the community after Andre was murdered. This motherfucker is a sociopath on so many motherfucking levels. He had the unmitigated gall to orchestrate that candlelit vigil. He saw his mother crying. He saw his aunt crying because Miss Linda lost her son Aaron to street violence as well. And he had the unmitigated gall to do something like that, knowing all along he was responsible for that young man's death, his own nephew. I mean, that is just the malevolence in these types of black men that exist today. Not all. I'm talking about motherfuckers like Tim Norman. If you get offended, then you're Tim Norman. And if you got anything you want to motherfucking say, you can come to me directly. I ain't that hard to find. Motherfuckers. This is the type of energy that some of these black men, I'm going to say some, are working with now. But they'll get into bed with these white men to try to bring down other black people. See, I'm going to tell you all a little secret. A lot of the shit that's going on, black men are behind it. Black men coach these motherfucking white fucking racists and these other people on how to fuck us up. They're fucking us up using our own fucking energy. White people don't have the power, genetically or spiritually, to fuck us up. They're getting coached and they're getting taught by black men on how to fuck us up. Tim Norman got into bed, figuratively, not literally, with this white man who was working at the insurance company, who was also in the music industry. Look at connect. This was a sacrifice. They thought that Andre was going to be there. They used that young man and his energy as a sacrifice so they could do what they wanted to do in that industry, or to get a foot up in that industry. That is what this was all about. Along with the $450,000 that Tim was going to split with that man and probably that girl that he had set him up. That stripper. Black heterosexual men, let me tell y'all something. Y'all really need to start being careful. Y'all really need to start being careful. You really, really do. I don't care if the female is black, white, blue, orange, Asian, green, magenta. You need to start being careful. Because they can use your weakness, which is ass and pussy and tits. For you heterosexual men, they can use that. They've been using that weakness against you for the longest time to set you up and to kill you and to steal your motherfucking life force. Because see, y'all like them strippers. You like those women who got them big butts and big titties and all that stuff, and that's okay. You heterosexual. But make sure that that woman ain't trying to set your ass up and take you out for the count. Because I know a lot of black men that have been murdered because they were set up by a woman just like that woman that set up Andre. I know a lot of black men. There was a woman here in D.C. many years ago. They used to call her Wicked Wanda. And she used to set up hustlers for other hustlers. But again, Behind the scenes were black men doing this shit. So when you motherfuckers talk about Black Lives Matter, I'm going to say it just like that. When you talk about Black Lives Matter, if it's not going to bring unity to black people to a certain degree, which it's not, to me, it's causing more division between black people. You motherfuckers talk about Black Lives Matter, but you got a motherfucker like Tim Norman running around here, and ain't nobody addressed that motherfucking shit. I'm just talking. This bitch named Wicked Wanda used to set up hustlers here in D.C. back in the day. She set up one of my uncle's friends. And he was a real cool dude. He was a hustler, but he was a real cool dude. Real cool. I can't think of his name right now, but I remember because I went out of town. My uncle took my entire family out of town to Disney World years ago, and he went with us. He was a real nice guy. Real nice guy. And that bitch set him up. But behind the scenes were black men orchestrating it. So when we talk about Black Lives Matter, how can we not talk about the lives that some of you black men have taken? How can we not talk about that? How the fuck can we not add Tim Norman in the same category as we do a Derek Chauvin? He's in the same category. Tim Norman hates black people. He hates other black men. And y'all can get mad, you can get glad, you can suck it, you can fuck it, you can tuck it, you can duck it. I don't give a fuck. The only thing I see Black Lives Matter doing is saying, this is what I'm hearing from them. This time, white peoples, they gonna love us more. They gonna love us more this time. They's gonna love us more this time. All we gotta do is just beg them a little bit more, and we'll get an extra biscuit and an extra motherfucking chicken nugget. All we gotta do is just march, and they'll understand us. Daisy loves us. Y'all are pathetic. Y'all are pathetic. Now I get injustice. But to me, the only people that are benefiting from Black Lives Matter are those motherfucking black celebrities and those black motherfucking reality stars. Your average black person never sees the fucking change. We just follow like the fucking sheep that we are. See, I'm a goat. I'm the goat. I don't go along with the status quo. I'm the goat. I sit on the fucking mountain and I watch you fucking sheep. And I see the game that's being played with you all through this Black Lives Matter shit. And then you had this motherfucker up here in St. Louis, Missouri. This motherfucker, he sat up here and got his nephew killed, had the audacity to orchestrate and to organize a Black Lives Matter-esque type of vigil for Andre. And this devil, because that's what Tim Norman is, and if you really want to get technical in spiritual terms, this black devil sat up and had his own motherfucking nephew killed. And I know y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying now, but who gives a fuck? I'm gonna say it, because who gonna stop me? You can't stop death. One kiss from me, rock-a-bye baby. See, I know who the fuck I am. That's why those fucking spirits that cross over, they always coming to me, talking to me. Last night I got a visit from Helen from the Jeffersons. Louise's friend, Roxy Roca. I'm not going to even put the message out there she told me. I'm not going to even put that out there because most people don't deserve to hear it. I'm going to say that for myself. Lenny Kravitz's mother. Look her up, Roxy Roca, Al Roca's cousin. The dead speaks to me because I am death. And I have many different motherfucking names. And you can't stop death. You may be able to delay it, but you can't stop it. That's why so many people fear me. And when people fear you, they hate you. Tim feared, like a lot of black men do, Tim feared his own black nephew. And he hated him for that. He feared Andre because he knew Andre would surpass him, because Andre was not in and out of jail like Tim was. That was another reason. Tim was jealous because Andre was going to surpass and excel beyond him. Y'all ain't ready for the truth. And I'm not talking about the people that genuinely, watch me or want to hear what I have to say. I'm not talking to you all. I'm not talking to nobody. No. I'm talking to the motherfucking black men that need to hear this shit, because your energy is not the fucking same anymore. You are up under ritual, mind control, spells, and witchcraft. And it's not working for you. It's not working. And I'm not angry. Those are them spirits. This is not Sia Grant. Those are those spirits coming through. Because I am so connected with the realm of the dead. That's why they can easily talk and channel through me. And I'm not going to even get into Chadwick Boseman yet. I'm going to wait until the dust settles on that too, because everybody's talking about it. But I want to give my own perspective on that. When they did that motherfucking, what did they call it? That reunion for Sweetie Pies, when the show was canceled, it was canceled that series because they knew what was coming with Tim. That's why they canceled it. Because they knew that Tim had something to do with Andre's death. This has been a few years in the making. Andre died in 2016. 2016 was a year of a lot of sacrifices because we were up under the vibration of the number 9. 9 is completion and rebirth. So there were a lot of sacrifices taking place up under that energy at that time. 2016 was a very tumultuous year, especially for in here in DC for me. This is Sia Grant. That's all I really have to say for right now. Black men, you need to watch your back. Black heterosexual men, I'm talking to you in particular. Y'all need to watch your fucking back. Because you have so many motherfucking people coming at you sideways, you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to trust. And I'm talking about the heterosexual black men who really do got the shine, who really do have that star power, who are really talented, who are really harmonically balanced, who know who they are in their energy, who know what they are, who respect their energy, who respect their own fucking people. I'm talking to you. Watch your back. Because they coming for you. That's just real talk. You got to be careful where you stick your dick. You got to be careful that you don't get caught up in no motherfucking trap. And a lot of you all are getting caught up in traps. Like Andre did, because Andre unfortunately was thinking with his dick. Like a lot of young black men do. And he got caught up. You have to know your self-worth, heterosexual black men. You have to know your self-worth. And let me say this too. The next time that more than one black woman says that a no good ass nigga like Tim is abusive, how about we believe her? How about we believe her and not say she's crazy and not say she's telling lies? That's one of the reasons why black women keep a lot of shit to themselves, because nobody believes them. Whenever they say, this person did this to me, this happened to me, the community brushes it off. Oh, that didn't happen. You're lying. Oh, he's a good guy because look what he did over there. But you're not looking what this motherfucker doing in the dark. So that is why I say this is the age of exposing. This is the age of illusion and confusion. The illusion is thinking that something is happening right then and there, but it's already happening somewhere else. The illusion is thinking that everything is okay, but it's really not. The illusion is them thinking or trying to get us to think that this happened just right now is what we're seeing, but in actuality, it's something totally different going on. The confusion is that we're getting caught up in the illusion. And now we're exposing the frauds and the scammers and all of the people who we thought were something, they're really not. I know I've talked a lot. I talked more than I wanted to. But this is Sia Grant. That's all I have to say.